Isekai anime is a roller coaster, chucking characters into alternate worlds where they gotta deal with all sorts of new crap and go on these crazy quests. Every year, a ton of isekai anime hit the screens and some become absolute classics. The list of standout isekai anime is huge, with titles that have left fans worldwide totally gobsmacked. No Family Left. Then, out of nowhere, he gets zapped to Elfrieden Kingdom, the drama and epicness. Number 29. Arifureta. 17-year-old Hajime Megumo is your average everyday otaku. However, his simple life of pulling all-nighters and sleeping in school is suddenly turned upside down when he, along with the rest of his class, is summoned to a fantasy world. They're treated like heroes and tasked with the duty of saving the human race from utter extinction. But what should have been any otaku's wet dream quickly turns into Hajime's nightmare. While the rest of his class are blessed with godlike powers, Hajime's job, Synergist, only has a single transmutation skill. Ridiculed and bullied by his classmates for being weak, he soon finds himself in despair. Will he be able to survive in this dangerous world of monsters and demons with only a glorified blacksmith's level of strength? Number 28. So I'm a spider, so what? The world where the hero and the demon king continue to oppose each other. The grand magic from the hero and the demon king crossed over worlds and exploded in a certain high school classroom. The students who died in the explosion will be reincarnated in a different world. Komoko, who has the lowest reputation in the class, was reincarnated into the form of a spider. Nevertheless, she adapted quickly to the present condition with strong willpower. This is a story of she who has become a spider trying whatever she can to live. Number 27. Problem children are coming from another world. Three teens suddenly get these mysterious letters, right? And before they know it, poof, they're in this wild place called Little Garden. A little garden? It's anything but ordinary. Folks there have these insane powers that are way beyond human. And what do they do with these powers? They compete in all sorts of games, from simple stuff to full-on duels. And get this, sometimes they even bet their own crazy powers in the process. Number 26. Recreators. There's this dude named Sauda, just your average high schooler, with dreams of writing his own light novel. One day, he gets sucked into an anime battle scene and bam. Back in the real world with the anime heroine Silesia. But hold up, it gets even wilder. Fictional characters start popping up in Japan like a knight, a magical girl, and a tough brawler. And there's this mysterious military lady with some serious insider info. Stada teams up with Silesia and a chill librarian NPC named Meteora to figure out what's going on. But as they dig deeper, reality and fiction start blending, leading to a showdown between creators and their creations. Number 25. World's Finest Assassin. Okay, so there's this top-notch assassin who's been super loyal to his organization since forever. But guess what? They turn on him and end up offing him. Poor guy's drowning in regret and anger when he suddenly meets a goddess who's impressed by his skills. She offers him a do-over in a fantasy world full of swords and magic. But there's a catch. He's got to take out the world's hero to save it from destruction. How's he going to kick off this new gig? Number 24. Familiar of Zero? After the events of Zero no Tsukaima, Princesses No Rondo, Sato, and Louise team up and take on King Joseph in the holy city of Romalia. They're joined by two others who control the power of the Void. But things get even crazier when an ancient evil starts stirring in the shadows. Will their bond deepen into something more as they face these challenges, or will it be torn apart by the tough tasks ahead? Zero no Tsukaima tracks Louise and Sato as they tackle their last hurrah together. Number 23. Cautious Hero. You know there's this saying you can never be too careful, right? Well, that's basically Seiya Ryuguen's motto. Summoned by the goddess Ristar to save Gaia Branded from doom, Seiya takes preparation to a whole new level. Even though he's already super strong, he trains endlessly, fights weak enemies with his best moves, and stocks up on supplies like there's no tomorrow. It might seem overkill, but in a world ruled by evil, his cautious approach might just be what saves the day. Number 22. Grimgar. Thrown into a strange world with foggy memories and just three raw emotions: fear, survival, instinct. Forced to take up arms as soldiers in Grimgar's reserve army, these strangers have no choice. In a world that feels like a game but isn't, there are no second chances. Meet Minato, the leader and priest; Haruhiro, the jittery thief; Yuum, the bubbly hunter; Shihoru, the shy mage; Moguzo, the gentle warrior; and Ranta, the loud dark knight. Together, they must learn to survive in a world where death lurks around every corner. Number 21. Rise of the Shield Hero. Four dudes from modern Japan get summoned to Melromark to save it from disaster. Waves of catastrophe keep wrecking the place, so they're given special weapons to fight them. Now Fumi, a total otaku, gets stuck with his Shield Hero gig. But here's the kicker. Everyone treats him like garbage because his shield ain't exactly flashy. Things go from bad to worse when he's falsely accused of a crime by his supposed ally Malti. Now Malfui's out for redemption and he's not alone. He picks up Raphtalia, a demi-human slave, to help him out. Together, they gotta face the waves and save Melromarc from his doom. Number 20. Sonny Boy. The story sets with this wild scenario where 36 students in their school get sucked into some freaky void dimension out of nowhere. Some of these kids start unlocking superpowers, which totally amps up the drama. The student council tries to keep things chill, but those with powers ain't having it. They're all about rebellion. Turns out, this new world's got its own set of rules and you gotta play by them if you want to make it out alive. Then one brave soul takes a leap of faith and boom. They're in a whole new dimension. Now they're bouncing between worlds, facing crazy challenges, all while trying to crack the mystery and get back home. Number 19. Tenchu Muyo. War on Gemina. Kenshi Masaki finds himself abducted and dumped into a new realm called Geminar by some mysterious group. They strike a deal. If he helps them take out the new Empress Lashara Asu XXBILI, using this giant robot called a sacred mechanoid, they'll send him back home. But things turn when Lashara notices Kenshi's skills and decides to spare him, mainly because he's a rare male presence in Geminar. Instead of kicking the bucket, Kenshi becomes Lashara's personal attendant. Now Kenshi's playing servant to the Empress, tagging along to this Holy Land Academy where sacred mechanoid pilots train. But little does he know there's some shady stuff brewing in the background, threatening to kick off a full-blown world war. Talk about being caught in the middle of a storm. Number 18. Gate. After the Ginza incident a few months ago, tensions between the Empire and JSDF are increasing in this special region. Peace talks? Yeah, they're not going so hot. To make matters worse, the big shots from all over the globe are starting to get really curious about this magical realm and its old-school tech. Meanwhile, our boy Lieutenant Yuji Atami and his crew of lady admirers are knee-deep in the political mess of the Empire's court. Princess Pitako Loda is trying to convince her pops that the JSDF isn't looking to take over their turf, but it's a tough sell. With pressure coming from both sides of the gate, Atami's got to start thinking about some seriously drastic moves to get the job done. It's a sticky situation, to say the least. Number 17. Devil is a part-timer. Demon Lord Satan's on a mission to conquer Enti Isla, but Hero Emilia ruins his plans. He and his general Alciel end up stranded in modern Tokyo. Now powerless and penniless, Satan takes on the human alias Sadao Mao and lands a gig at a fast food joint to make ends meet. But conquering Enti Isla starts to feel small time compared to climbing the corporate ladder and ruling Earth. From flipping burgers to paying the bills, Hataraku Mao-sama flips the script on everyday life with a demon lord's hilarious perspective. Number 16. Moonlit Fantasy. Makoto Misumi, just a regular high school student, kicks whisked away to a whole new world as a brave warrior. But things take a nasty turn when the world's goddess looks at him and goes, your face, and strips him of his title, dumping him way out in the wilderness. Out there, Makoto runs into all kinds of crazy stuff like dragons, spiders, orcs, dwarves, you name it, he's seen it. And thanks to the world's different vibe, Makoto's suddenly got mad skills in magic and fighting. Now he's got to survive in this new world, dealing with all sorts of wild encounters. Get ready for a fantasy adventure where a boy abandoned by both gods and humans sets out to reform society in this alternate world. Number 15. The 12 Kingdoms. Yuko Nakajima just wants a normal life. She follows the rules, gets good grades, even leads her class, yet her red hair makes her an outcast. Too timid to stand up for herself, Yuko's used to being taken advantage of and has no real friends. But one day, everything changes. A man named Kiki bursts into Yuko's classroom, claiming she's the rightful ruler of his kingdom in another world. Before they can talk, they're attacked by creatures called Yuma. Kiki whisks Yuko away, but two classmates, Ikuya Asano and Yuka Sugimoto, get dragged along. Now stranded in a strange land separated from Kiki, these ordinary students must find a way to survive the dangers of this new world. Number 14. Welcome to Demon School, Haruma-kun. Poor Aruma Suzuki, just 14 and already having a rough go. He's been slaving away to support his deadbeat parents, even though he's not old enough to work. Then one day he finds out his folks actually sold him to a demon named Sullivan. But surprise, Sullivan just wants a grandkid and spoils Aruma rotten, sending him off to demon school Babels. At first, Aruma tries to lay low, scared his classmates will figure out he's human. But that plan tanks when he learns Sullivan is the school's big shot chairman and everyone's expecting Aruma to be the next demon king. Things get even crazier when Aruma's put on the spot to chant a forbidden spell in front of everyone. That stunt gives him a rep he's not too thrilled about, But hey, looks like Aruma's in for a wild ride, whether he likes it or not. Number 13. Uncle from Another World. After being in a coma for 17 years following a truck accident, Takafumi Takeoka's uncle, Yusuke Ojizun Shibazaki, wakes up. He starts babbling in a weird language and claims he was in a magical world called Grand Bahamut. Takafumi thinks it's all nonsense until Ojizun makes a cup float with magic. They decide to start a YouTube channel to show off Ojizun's powers. Takafumi has to catch Ojizun up on everything that happened while he was out, like the internet, new tech, and the Nindies console war, especially tough for Ojizun, a die-hard SEGA fan. With Ojizun's magical know-how and Takafumi's modern skills, they grow their channel and deal with all sorts of online stuff from comments to trolls. This uncle-nephew duo's journey is gonna be one heck of a ride. Number 12. Drifters. In 1600 at the Battle of Sekigahara, Toyohisa Shimazu is fighting as the rearguard for his retreating troops when he's gravely wounded. Suddenly, he finds himself in a modern, gleaming white hallway with only a man named Murasaki and countless doors around him. Toyohisa is pulled into one of the doors and ends up in a completely different world. This new land is full of fantastical creatures and warriors from different eras, all thought to be dead. Toyohisa quickly befriends the infamous warlord Nobunaga Oda and the ancient archer Yoichi Suitaka Nasu. Together, they discover that they've been summoned as drifters to fight against the Ends, who created the Ort Empire and are now trying to wipe out the drifters. As the Ends gain power, the Empire's persecution of elves and other demi-humans intensifies. Toyohisa and his band of unconventional heroes must now fight in a new world war, protecting the land and its people while challenging the Ends' tyranny. It's a battle for freedom, justice, and a place to call their own. Number 11. Ascendance of a Bookworm. Hirano Motosu is a bookworm with an insatiable thirst for literature. She's on the brink of achieving her dream of becoming a librarian when tragedy strikes, and she dies in an accident. In her final moments, she wishes to be reborn so she can read more books. Miraculously, her wish is granted, and she wakes up in the body of a frail 5-year-old girl named Mine, living in a medieval world. Mine's first thought is of her beloved books, but to her dismay, there are very few books in this world. Books are rare and expensive in this world as they have to be written and copied by hand. Only the nobles can afford them. But Mine is determined. She refuses to let the lack of books stop her from reading. She vows to create books herself, no matter what it takes. Mine is determined to show that her love for reading is unbreakable, and she will stop at nothing to make her dream a reality. Number 10. Saga of Tanya the Evil. Tanya Degurachaf ain't your ordinary soldier. She's got a reputation for being ruthless and tactical, earning her the baddest nickname, Devil of the Rhine. But here's the kicker. Beneath that innocent-looking exterior is the soul of a guy who literally challenged God. Yup, you read that right and got reincarnated as a little girl in a world full of magical warfare. Hell-bent on sticking it to the man upstairs, Tanya is on a mission to climb the ranks of her country's military even as the world around her spirals into chaos. Only problem? Being X, that so-called God, keeps getting in her way, making her quest for a peaceful life one tough ride. But here's the twist. Her sharp moves and killer instincts actually end up turning her empire into a major power player in human history. Tanya's story is all about guts, glory, and giving fate the middle finger in the face of some divine interference. Number 09. The Boy and the Beast. Two souls living vastly different lives find themselves adrift and alone in their own worlds. For Ren, a 9-year-old boy, kindness is a rare commodity after the only person who cared for him is gone, leaving him ostracized by what remains of his family. With no one to turn to, Ren flees into the labyrinthine streets of Shibuya, where he crosses paths with the formidable Kumatetsu, who leads him to the beast realm of Shibuya. For Kumatetsu, Ren represents a chance to groom a successor to the Lord of the Realm, a position he aspires to. Despite his formidable combat skills, Kumatetsu's distant demeanor has left him without disciples or a path to prove his worthiness. Despite their differing objectives, Ren, now known as Kyuda, and Kumatetsu agree to aid each other in achieving their goals. While Kumatetsu seeks recognition, Kyuda yearns for the family he never had. As time passes, it becomes clear that their partnership is shaping them in ways they never anticipated. Perhaps the divide between them, a boy and a beast, has always been narrower than either realized. Number 08. Overlord. As the final hour of the popular virtual reality game Yggdrasil ticks away, Momonga, a powerful wizard and master of the Dark Guild Ainswold Gown, decides to stick around as the servers shut down. But to his shock, when the clock strikes midnight, he's still fully conscious in his character, and the non-player characters seem to have minds of their own. With this bizarre turn of events, Momonga rallies his loyal servants to help him explore and conquer this new world. He's determined to uncover the cause of this phenomenon and find out if there are others like him trapped in this strange situation. Number 07. That time I got reincarnated as a slime. Meet Satoru Mikami, a 37-year-old corporate drone living the mundane life in Tokyo. Despite his routine existence, one thing has always eluded him: a romantic relationship. That is, until a chance encounter with a colleague takes a deadly turn when he's randomly attacked and stabbed on the streets. As he lies dying, a strange voice fills his mind with cryptic commands. To his surprise, he wakes up in a new, fantastical world as a slime creature with incredible powers. Not long after, he befriends the catastrophe-level monster Veldora, who has been sealed away for centuries. In exchange for helping Veldora break free, Satoru, now known as Rimuru Tempest, gains a new name and divine protection. Embracing his newfound abilities and freedom from his old life, Rimuru sets off on an epic journey. With each transformation and adventure, he leaves his mark on the world, gradually reshaping his own destiny. Number 06. Sword Art Online. Alicization. The Soul Translator is like the Rolls-Royce of virtual reality setups, connecting directly to the user's Floodlight, which is basically their soul in tech form. It's a whole new ball game compared to the usual brain signal methods. The Wrath Institute is dead set on perfecting this bad boy, so they rope in Kazuto Kirigaya, a survivor of Sword Art Online, to help out. Kazuto takes on a part-time gig there to test the system in the Underworld, a virtual realm created by the Soul Translator. According to the deal, any memories made in the Underworld get wiped clean once you're back in the real world. Creepy, right? All Kazuto can remember is the name Alice, and it gives him major heebie-jeebies in the real world. One night, while walking Nasume Yuki home, they run into an old enemy. Kazuto gets seriously messed up in the brawl and blacks out. When he comes to, he's deep in the Underworld, with no clue how to get back. Now he's on a mission to find a way out and back to reality. Number 05. Eminence in the Shadows. Meet Minoru Kajino, a dude who's obsessed with getting as strong as humanly possible. But get this, he's not in it for the fame or glory. Nope, Minoru just wants to blend in with the crowd by day and kick some serious biker gang butt with a crowbar by night. But then bam, Minoru gets smacked by a truck, and it looks like game over for his power dreams. As he's about to kick the bucket, he's all torn up about how no matter how much he trained, he couldn't beat his human limits. Plot twist. Instead of croaking, Minoru wakes up as Sid, the second kid in a noble family, but in a whole new world where magic is real. Now, with the power he always craved, he takes on the name Shadow and starts Shadow Garden. Their mission? Take down the mysterious cult of Diablos, a group that came straight from Sid's imagination. But as Shadow Garden grows, Sid realizes the cult of Diablos might not be as made up as he thought. Number 04. Konosuba, God's blessing on this wonderful world. Kazuma Satu, a recluse high schooler, meets an untimely and somewhat embarrassing demise while returning from buying a game. In the afterlife, he encounters Aqua, a beautiful yet brash goddess. She presents him with two choices: proceed to heaven or reincarnate in a fantasy world, and Kazuma opts for the latter, envisioning it as a dream come true for any gamer. As a parting gift, he can select any item, and he chooses Aqua. However, this decision proves to be a grave error as Aqua turns out to be utterly incompetent. Their troubles don't end there. Life in this fantasy realm is a far cry from the adventures depicted in games. Instead of embarking on heroic quests, Kazuma and Aqua must first work to earn a living, marking just the beginning of their misfortunes. Number 03. No game, no life. In the world of Disboard, overseen by the one true god Tet, 16 sentient races coexist, with humans of the Humanity race being the lowest and devoid of magical prowess. In this world where all disputes are settled through games, humanity seems doomed to perpetual subjugation, until the arrival of two outsiders changes everything. On Earth's step-siblings Sora and Shiro are reclusive gamers known online as Blank, renowned for their unmatched skills. Despite their internet fame, they view life as a mundane game. However, when they receive a cryptic message from an unknown user, they are suddenly transported to Disboard. The sender is revealed to be Tet, who enlightens them about the world's absolute rules before departing. Left to navigate this new reality, Sora and Shiro seek information and shelter, leading them to Elkia, the last bastion of humanity. Here, they encounter Stephanie Dola, a spirited young woman determined to reclaim her family's throne. However, her lack of strategy renders her efforts futile. Moved by her determination, Sora and Shiro decide to assist Stephanie in revitalizing Elkia, with the ultimate goal of ascending as its rulers. Number 02. Mushoku Tensei, Jobless Reincarnation. Despite enduring a lifetime of bullying, ridicule, and oppression, a 34-year-old recluse summoned the courage to attempt a heroic act, only to meet a tragic end. However, fate had other plans as he awakens in a new world as Rudeus Greirat, starting anew as a baby born to caring parents. Retaining memories and knowledge from his past life, Rudius swiftly adapts to his surroundings. Possessing the mind of an adult, he demonstrates exceptional magical aptitude, surpassing all expectations. With guidance from the mage Roxy Magurdia, he refines his abilities while his father, Paul, teaches him the ways of the sword. Alongside Sylphiat, a girl of his age who becomes his closest companion, Rudius embarks on his second chance at life, striving to overcome his traumatic past and seize new opportunities. And perhaps in this unfamiliar world, he may find a love that eluded him in his previous life. Number 01, Vive Zero. In Japan, the Supernatural Disaster Countermeasures Division, SDCD, operates covertly to protect citizens from unseen threats. Their ability to swiftly dispatch these creatures is unparalleled, all while keeping the public unaware. However, the agency now faces a new challenge: the betrayal of one of their own. Following her mother's death, Kagura Tsuchimiya is taken in by the Isayama family, forming a deep sisterly bond with their daughter, Yomi. Together, they join the SDCD as skilled exorcists. But as the weight of their duties and family politics take their toll, Kagura and Yomi begin to drift apart. One embraces her role as an exorcist with determination, while the other descends into darkness, possibly beyond redemption.